to give a PPT on the effects of social media in our day-to-day life. In this, we will learn the understanding it and its impacts on our one's life. First, the introduction of social media. What is social media? Social media is a platform in which one or many people can share the contents which is regarding their day-to-day life or some other memes or etc. online. Here a short overview on purpose. It helps communicate connections and entertain our life. While in a report up to April 2025 and up to 85% of people globally use social media. And here are some popular platforms regarding social media like Facebook and Instagram. Everything has pros and cons. So I am here to give the positive effects of social media. First, social media helps us to facilitate communication over a long distance. It helps a person to show his self-experience or creativity, and it also helps us in educational platforms for easing up our educational studies or regarding any topics. It builds up communities and provides self-esteem for the people. Then here are some negative effects of social media. Like due to overuse of social media, one can have mental disorders like anxiety, depression, and loneliness. And as I said previously, about 65% people use social media globally. So because of lot of users, misinformation or fake news can spread like a wildfire in this network. And in social media, we have some privacy purpose and how data misuses. And also, I like to say that social media is highly addictive, and overuse of social media can lead us to straining from our relationships. And here's some conclusion. My conclusion about the social media is like social media, we must need to make a balance between these. So we can make our mental and physical health effective and emerging. There are various devices we are coming from social media. We must use them properly, like AI tools or influencer culture, and we must use it responsibly so that the addiction must not overcome us in our personal life. And before using social media, we must do a research about it and make a healthy distance from it. And thank you for giving me a time to express my regards about social media.
During the environmental threats and leadership. Firstly, in this first major environmental threats, there is air pollution. Due to emission of harmful gases, there is cause air pollution. Water pollution causes through contamination of air, water connections like lakes, oceans, and rivers. There is deforestation due to large scale cutting of trees. There causes deforestation. Increasing earth crust temperature due to the releases of green gases. This accumulation improper disposal of plastic and non-biodegradable waste. It causes waste accumulation. There is an effect of these threats like health problems like asthma, cancer, and heart diseases are caused through these threats. Loss of biodiversity and extinction of species. We can see that due to large scale cutting of trees, there is extinction of various species like cheetah and madok pakshi, which causes extinction of biodiversity and species. Floods, droughts, and changing the sea level, water level. Depletion of natural resources. Natural resources like grounds, resins are depleted through cutting of large scale cutting of trees, and it causes depletion of resources. Disturbance in ecosystem changes. We know that every living organisms depend on each other, which causes the food chain, and large scale cutting of trees causes disturbance in food chain. Should be prevention through different ways. First is public transport. We should use public transport like buses, cycles, and we should take a walk through transport, which reduce the emission of fuels. And more trees and support deforestation. We should plant more trees, which increase the oxygen level in environment. Water and avoid polluting water bodies. recycled, use eco-friendly products, and avoid single-use plastic. Promote clean and renewable utilize solar and wind. Conclusion: environmental protection should performed by everyone in the society. Small actions lead to big changes, and our place should be protect our environment for our future generation. Be the change you want to be seen in the world. Is quote by Mahatma Gandhi is very important or crucial in the prevention of environment. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Today I am here to discuss the topic technology and space. First is introduction. So this presentation addresses critical ethical considerations, especially in the fields of artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. First one is bias in AI algorithms. So today what we have seen in organizations is there is biasness in the AI algorithms, which is creating unfairness and disruptions in the systems. So ensuring unbiasedness in the algorithms, so it will help us, and especially in organizations and firms which process on large amount of data. Privacy issues. So privacy issues is a major concern because what firms do is they process on huge number of data and huge number of users. So ensuring privacy of them is of utmost importance. Accountability in decisions. So as AI systems are concerned, they process on huge amount of data and users. So accountability is required for decision making and proper decision making. Then data protection measures. So for any firm, data protection is required because the users are going to show faith in the firm only when they ensure data protection. Impact of cyber security attacks. So what we are often seeing nowadays is there are news like people have been robbed like 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees from their account. So this is the consequence of cyber attacks. So our government have also began taking measures against the cyber attack. So this is important to control. Role of ethical hacking to reduce or to ensure that the cyber attacks are prevented to some extent. So the ethical hacking comes into play. The ethical hacking means that the cyber attacks which are going around should be controlled and what to control at some extent. So conclusion: the above mentioned factors should be followed severely. So in order to control the cyber attacks and its consequences. Thank you.
And today I am presenting the topic of future of the forest and how reforestation can change the world. First, I will introduce that reforestation is one of the main solutions to address the impacts of the climate change and environmental degradation. And replanting for lost forests is just not creating the green spaces, but it also restores the ecosystem and increases the biodiversity. And this presentation will outline how reforestation can transform our world to the greener future. Now, the definition of the reforestation. Reforestation is the process of the replanting the trees for previously deforested areas, and so that it increases the biodiversity and the ecological function of the damaged forest, improvements environmental quality. And reforestation is not just replanting the trees in degraded areas, but it also restores our natural habitats and long-term environment. Now, the negative impacts of the deforestation. First, I will explain of loss of biodiversity. Loss of biodiversity. Deforestation destroys the habitats of many species. We know the example of Amazon rainforest. Amazon rainforest is the home of millions of species, and due to cutting of the many trees, it becomes the problem to the many trees, to the plants and the birds, etc., like frogs. The next one is climate change. Trees absorb the carbon dioxide, and due to the cutting of the tree, the carbon dioxide increases in the atmosphere, so that it gives the contribution to the climate change. And so I want to give an example of Indonesia, where for plantation of palm oil, where they're cutting many more trees, so that it becomes one of the top country in the world of carbon emitting. The next one is soil erosion. Soil erosion. Trees holds the soil, and trees hold the soil together, so that it reduces the soil erosion or land erosion. Now, Haiti is the well-known example of everyone, where 98% of the country's forests are cutting, so that there were many problems of soil erosion, and when it becomes heavy rain, the topsoil reduces with water. Now, Next one is the role of reforestation in the water cycle. Trees plays an important role in the water cycle through absorb the water so that it reduces the soil erosion and it reduces the soil erosion and maintain the soil fertility so that it reducing the risk of the flooding. Now, social and economical impacts of reforestation. Reforestation is not only benefits for the environment but also opens up economical opportunities through. First one is increasing agricultural productivity. Next one, improving the welfare of local communities and natural disaster risk reduction. Now, I want to give one more example of healthcare. In healthcare, many more trees cleaning the air and reduces the heat, and they gives the better health for the people who living inside the trees. The next one is job creation. We know that the forestry or agriculture and in forestry and agriculture and in many more industries, they take benefits from the reforestation. So and creating the or generating the long-term employment. Now I will conclude that reforestation is an important step in restoring ecosystem damaged by the deforestation and provide the hope for the future of our environment. Thank you.
My doctor name is opportunity cost. So basically, what is meant by opportunity cost? It is nothing but the cost of choosing one thing over the another. That is, out of multiple better choices, we have to choose the best choice for us. Now, let us understand the concept of opportunity cost in detail. We see that in the picture, in the various scenario, in real life, we have multiple choices. That is choice 1, choice 2, and there are lots of choices. But we have to choose a better choice for us. Like in this scenario, we can take real life example. That is, after the 12th exam, we have two career options. That is medical side and engineering side. So we have to choose which is the better side for us, which is based on our career skills and our growth and our interest. Now, in next slide, we see that every choice has a price. That is, each choice has a best value for us. So the choice which give more benefit to us. So definitely we go for that side. So effective decision making is the very challenge for us, because our decision makes our opportunity cost value more preferable. That is, our decision matters. How we take decision, and accordingly we have to choose side properly. Now in a real life scenario, we take lots of examples. That is, in this opportunity, we see that opportunity cost in a company, there are two choices. Option 1 is upgrade in manufacturing plant, and option 2 is investing in stock market. So what will do company so that it will get more benefit out of the requirement. So in the first scenario, it will get 9% interest if we invest in the stock market, and it will get 12% benefit if it will potential benefit for current scenario. It will be something. Obviously, the company will go for the better option, that is 12% interest, because it gives benefit to company of about 3% net benefit. So in this scenario, company will choose option 2, and it will be preferred. Now in the real life scenario, we can take another example, like in a placement scenario, if two students are applying for the company, like Tata, and if the company gives benefits to the same student of different choices, like it will give benefits of 1 lakh and 2 lakh. So which one will prefer? Obviously, the student will choose the highest package, that is 2 lakh. So more of preferable option for us. Now next is, so in conclusion, choose wisely. Whatever we have the choice, we have to choose wisely. There are multiple good choices, but we have to choose better choice for us. We have multiple choices, and we have to take maximum benefit for us. So that's about the simple topic of opportunity.
Good morning everyone, myself Sanika. Today I am present here to talk about the very recently happened the very tragic movement of incident that was happened in 2025. Let's see what happened here. That is the Pahalgam attack. So, who are this slide? We now see the what is the overview of incident overview. It was happened on 2025 in the Pahalgam. The Bahala, a group of the 46 armed militants that openly fire on a group of the tourists, and also they killed all our Hindu tourists. So let's move on next slide. Let's see what attack details where and what happened and when happened. Let's see the where happened and the location. This can happen in the Western Valley near the town of Pahalgam in Anantnag district in Jammu and Kashmir. But most of these places were popular for peace and beauty. But on that day, it became the site of a tragic event and incident, which is a violent event. So, at the time of the evening, at the time of the 3:45 p.m. was a happened. So, what are the details of the attack? They are using very powerful weapons like the M4 carbines, AK-47 rifles, and all of these. Let's see about the attackers. So the attackers are in the uniform of our Indian army. They are the tourists for where the religion are they from. If the tourists not said they are from Hindu religion, then they openly kill them tourists. So let's see next slide. But who is the victim? There are around 28 people were killed by the attackers. From those 24 people are the Indian tourists and also 2 people are from Kashmir and 2 people are from the foreign tourists in Nepal and Kuwait. The Indian tourists are coming from the various different states like Maharashtra and also the Tamil Nadu. But sadly, in fact, is that our Indian Navy officers, also is flying agent officers were killed by attackers. So this is a very sad moment. So move on next slide. So it's now response to government. It's told the government. Our Prime Minister Modi suddenly came from the visit the Saudi Arabia for immediate action and immediate response to this situation. So it was posted on the station army for these places in these places. So first is the security response. In this incident, military development such as the paramilitary forces were posted for the investigation with the safe and tourists. Second one is that the high-tech surveillance. High-tech surveillance means the drones and also the cameras will capture those areas for the 24/7. Third one is the checkpoints and ID. So set up the checkpoints and identify the ID for the people who are coming from the seeing the beauty and also the that places. After checking their ID, give the input for that places. So it's all about the government work. And what is the border security application? Border security application is increase the border security. Increase the border security for the avoiding the smuggling and also entry of the attackers. So this type of the incident can be little bit of can be decreased. Little bit can be decreased. The second one is that into the thermal cameras and also in the nights and also watch towers that are used to stop their types of the movements and using the forces more forces like BCF special forces are posted on that places. Now it's our work to spread the justice for that people and standing along with the kids and also with their family and also increase the trust, building their trust, building their trust by promoting the dialogues, by promoting the so all of these about my PPT and Maharashtra attack. So I would like to thank you this opportunity to present myself to bring up.
Hello everyone, my name is Abhay. I am from second year IT. Now today I am presenting the PPT on cybersecurity experts and some safety threats and phishing techniques are used in cybersecurity to attack our devices. We can slide 1 cybersecurity with our personal life, protecting our personal life with digital attacks. There are some techniques phishing and ransomware and malware attacks. There are some common threats. There is malware techniques, phishing techniques, and ransomware, and some other techniques to hack the device of yours. There are some topics on malware. Malware visualizes the personal data in your device and hack that data by using your emails and spoof the emails and giving you a link as a threat. There are safety benefits which we can do. There are strong passwords and account safety. We can conclude as a strong and unique password. We can use special characters, alphanumeric keys, and some other letters and symbols that specify and protect our passwords. There are also a layer of authentication in social accounts, which is called as two-factor authentication, which can protect our data or personal account into as as a work, as a security role. There are self-browsing and online habits. Phishing awareness. Phishing awareness, that means we cannot click any spoof links that sent by unknown person or unknown user. That may breaches our data and leak our information. We can use just a secure website to look for that is HTTP, which websites are starting from HTTPS or having some working interface. We can our device secure by updating our device, and there are updating our device, and we can install antivirus software, and mobile ability and mobile security that will safely secure the data. We can protecting our data by encrypting our data, backups and privacy settings. There are in backups there are a rule 3 to 1. That means the 3% 3 to 1 rules. There are 3 copies, 2 medias, and one backup file. That is the one rule of backups. We can safely social media on safety. We can limit the personal sharing, manage privacy settings, and some other settings which we can limit. And we are not aware of spotty scams and other spoof links. So thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Jamdade. Today I am excited to present to you something that truly shapes our life, that is power of habits. How small changes can lead to a significant transformation. Habits are the invisible architectures in our life. As Aristotle once said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence. It is not an act but a habit. In this presentation, we will explore how small changes can lead to a significant transformation. These habits can be waking early in the morning, reading daily books, and even drinking more waters. These small things can create a massive result. Now, let's know what exactly habit is. Habit is the behavior that we daily do without even thinking about it. It is the loop of cue, routine, and rewards. For example, cue, we feel bored. Routine, we open our Instagram, and rewards, we feel entertained. Our brain forms a habit to save energy. That's why we brush our teeth, tie our shoes automatically. This frees up the power of brain and utilize it for the other important decisions. Habits can be a positive. Daily regular exercise, meditation. Negative, smoking. Neutral, watching our phones after waking up. One beautiful thing about the habit is we can change our bad habits into the good habits. For example, let's take Mahatma Gandhi for example. He is used to be a shy, average student, but through the his good habits like the journaling, regular walk, and the consistent self-reflection, he becomes or transformed into world's one of the greatest leader. The psychology behind the habits. When habits are built through the repetition, for each time we do an action, our brain creates a neural pathway. As much as these habits or these actions are repeated, the pathway becomes more stronger. For example, the Charles Duhigg once said, the change is not faster, but it's not too easy also. But along with the time and the efforts, we can change our habits. Implementing changes. First of all, identify the key habits. Ask yourself, which habits brings me or helps me to grow. Second, ask yourself, which habits pulls me down. The founder of the Tesla or the SpaceX always gives a credit to the habit, that is reading at least 2 books daily at his teenage years. Similarly, we have the various habits such as the time management, focus, or etc. But we have to identify these habits in ourselves. strategies for the change. There are the various strategies to keep these changes consistent. For example, first, start small. To start anything, we don't need not to aim too large at a beginning. For example, we can't aim as I will walk 5 kilometers at a first day. But I can also start from 1 or the 5 minutes walk at a first day. Second, habit stack. Along with the continuous or the consistency of the old habits, we have to also add a new habits. For example, after a brushing, we can write a one line on a note. Like this, we can improve our habits and add new habits. Third, keep progress of this. Along with the continuation, we also have to keep the progress. Like we have to maintain a sticky notes or the use various apps to keep this track. And lastly is the celebrate. We also have to celebrate or reward ourselves for completing or achieving a particular habit or completing a particular task. Maintaining new habits. As I've said previously, along the previous habits or the old habits, we have to add new habits, and to maintain these new habits, we have to keep these new habits alive. Also, create an environment suitable for these. Make consistency. Conclusion. In conclusion, habits are the silent factor behind our success. Remember, small steps, consistency, stack habits, and the rewarding. These are the main steps in the success path. And remember, don't fear or afraid for the failure or restart, because the journey of the 5 miles starts with that first or the one step. Thank you.
So hello everyone, myself Pratik and today I am going to present a PPT on cancel culture. So first let's understand what cancel culture actually is. So cancel culture refers to the criticism of people against any organization or any individual whenever they do anything wrong in public, like wrong behavior in public, speaking wrong statements in public. So these things refers to cancel culture. So what is rapid public condemnation in cancel culture? So whenever people criticize any celebrity, politician, or any individual for their bad habits, or whenever they do anything wrong in the public, and spread these things through social media, like boycotting them, running hashtag against them. And so what cancel culture demands? It demands accountability from that person, like apology on their mistakes. So let's look at some positive aspects of cancel culture. So first of all, it empowers the persons who are historically silenced, empowers them to speak against injustice, and other one is building power of that powerful person. Cancel culture pressures the powerful persons from doing anything wrong in public, and also it promotes the social conversation about injustice and law. So there are some negative aspects of cancel culture, like it can harass that individual, and people bully that individual or any politician or influencer for doing that such a bad things in society. That can result in depression for that individual. So the conclusion is cancel culture is a powerful tool. If we use it responsibly, we can use it to provide progress to the nation. Thanks.